What's happening, gamers, and welcome back. That is a very weird thing to say because it's the first video on a brand new channel. And if you're new around here, my name is Eddie, which again is a weird thing because everybody watching this video is going to be new. It's a new channel. Anyway, the topic of today's show is a very special one to me. One of many videos I've been working on for a while now out of pure excitement for the game. The hype for this game for me personally is uncontrollable, and I found myself writing random little notes about theories on things I think might happen in God of War Ragnarok come Fimbulwinter this November. So I decided to work on them a little bit and make a dedicated series of theory videos for God of War Ragnarok, and here's the first one. I hope all you guys enjoy watching these videos as much as I enjoy making them because it's a lot of fun. I'm just like a little nerd looking at my books and my notes, just going, oh my god, I can see it, I can see it. I really enjoyed thinking these up, so I hope you guys enjoy it. So my big theory is that in God of War Ragnarok, we, and our boys Atreus and Kratos, will be going back in time for a significant portion of the game. It is possible that it is just Kratos that goes back in time. Those two things are possibilities in my head, and then it would give Kratos that drive to come back to the present if Atreus isn't with him. But my big theory is that in God of War Ragnarok, we go back in time to pick up some key items, to find out some valuable information, and it will allow for some really, really cool moments with some really cool characters that aren't around anymore, which I'll talk about in this video. A little disclaimer, kind of, I guess. I will be talking about some of the events that happened in 2018's God of War, so if you haven't played that, spoilers obviously for that. But I do want to say, I know absolutely nothing about God of War Ragnarok. I don't work for Sony Santa Monica as much as I wish I did. I haven't seen any leaks or anything like that, so I have no idea what's coming up in the game. All I've done is make educated guesses based on things that we've seen in God of War 2018 and things based off of books that I've read based on God of War's lore. There's one book in particular that I like, and it's got a lot of details of things that aren't mentioned in God of War 2018, and I've managed to come up with my own theories based on the reading I've done there. So none of what I'm saying is confirmed in any sort of way, but they're gonna sound pretty cool and pretty likely. So yeah, just putting that out there. Alright guys, on to the theory. So as I said, my theory is that we spend a significant amount of time of the game in the past, before Atreus was even born, maybe even before Kratos came to Midgard. There are many reasons why I believe we'll go back in time, one of the main ones being so they can gather information on Ragnarok, to hear the true prophecy perhaps, and potentially acquire an item or some knowledge to defeat the Mad King, Odin Allfather, and his Aesir gods. And all that information, well, it lies in the past. Let me explain. In the God of War version of the Norse mythology, there are legends such as Tyr, the Norse God of War, and we've heard stories of all his travels and accomplishments in other realms and faraway lands in Midgard. We even see shrines and tapestries of him traveling to other pantheons. Even this one of Tyr giving the Greek mortals an item, which is really mysterious if you ask me, and definitely going to be something that we come across in the next game. And also we hear of legends of famous giants throughout the 9 realms, such as the protagonist's wife, Faye. And there are more legendary beings, many who are useful in navigating and possibly stopping Ragnarok. And the reason why time travel is necessary to hear about all these legends and prophecies and meet all these people is because, well, they're all dead. Or at least that's what we think. Hint, hint here, obviously not dead from the trailers. But it's likely that not all of those gods and legends are all locked up in a cave somewhere, so. All of these beings that know information about Ragnarok or are crucial to our journey are all dead, and are dead because of, you guessed it, King Odin himself. Mimir in one of his many stories tells us that Odin at one point became so obsessed and so paranoid of the prophecy of Ragnarok, he and his son Thor went on a killing spree of giants and other powerful beings to either ensure his rule or to trick them into gaining their knowledge or power, and then killing them so that they could never use it against him or pass their knowledge on to someone else. Many important people to the story of Ragnarok. One of these people being the frost giant, Groa. I'm sorry about the names in all of these videos, I'm probably going to butcher them all, so just keep that in mind. Groa, also known as the Knowledge Keeper. We actually see a shrine of her on Alfheim, and it's the only one in the game that looks a little bit different in this ice blue color. It's really cool looking. Groa was said to be one of the greatest seers of all of the realms, and the one who originally foresaw Ragnarok. Her story, however, is a tragic one. Groa only got to the great ability to see as far into the future as Ragnarok by gathering every bit of arcane wisdom she could find in all of the realms in order to find her long-lost husband, Orvandil. Again, sorry about the names. But, tragically, she could never see him. Her great abilities, however, did attract the attention of the cruel Aesir king, Odin, who tricked her into showing him her great collection of books and knowledge from all over the realms, while pretending to be a friend. What Groa at this point didn't know, however, that her husband's disappearance was actually Odin's doing. He had sent Thor to kill him in his giant killing spree and kept that from her until he got every bit of knowledge from the knowledge keeper herself and then strangled her to death in her own library. How crazy is that? So this is one person that if we go back in time to go see could be very useful, because it's possible that she didn't tell Odin the entire story. Maybe there was a different version of it. Maybe her seeing it from her perspective was entirely different to the way that everyone else picked it up from her telling everyone. And it would be very useful to know the actual true prophecy, how it was exactly seen. And that could be one good thing to find out. That's the main benefit to going back in time, to further the whole story and how to navigate Ragnarok and stuff like that. But there is one side benefit to going back in time too. And it also may help with Ragnarok in some way, but this is more of a personal thing for our boy Kratos, Atreus, and us. If we go back in time, in theory, we could see Faye again. The mother of Atreus and Kratos' wife we carry the ashes of in 2016's God of War. And we could speak to her properly in the present for the first time. And because she already knows the journey that Kratos and Atreus have been on because they inscribed it on the walls of Jotunheim, she can act like as if she never left. She will know of everything they've been through, and she can speak to them properly as if she never had left at all. And that allows for some incredible moments with our gang. We will finally be able to see our Spartan with his loving wife we now know to be Laufey the Just, a great warrioress. Kratos can finally ask her about her past. Ask her why she kept her life a secret from him their entire marriage. Why she hid her gianthood and pretended to be immortal for their entire relationship. And crucially to the story of the world of Ragnarok and the Norse mythology saga, what is the whole story with the Jotnar and what happened with the Aesir gods from the perspective of the giants? These would all be really, really cool story moments that would enrich the whole game for us. And we can finally get the moment that I personally have been waiting for, and I know a bunch of you guys probably have been as well. A moment between Kratos and Faye, so we can see that love that brought Atreus into this world. The love between these two great beings that set in motion the events of God of War 2018 and God of War Ragnarok. If we can just get that would be magical to me. I would love that. Let me know if that's something that you've been looking forward to. It's one of my top priorities in all of the lists. Alright, so that is the why I think we'll be going back in time. Let's talk about how I think we will be going back in time. How will Kratos, an amazingly strong god, don't get me wrong, and Atreus, a boy who's still discovering his place in the world, travel back in time to accomplish all of these things that I mentioned? In my mind, there are two ways they can go back in time. Two ways that time travel could be utilized and get all these events that I mentioned fleshed out. The first way, I believe, could be done by accident, and in this scenario, it's just Kratos that gets sent back in time and he has to figure a way to get back. In God of War 2018, we meet a very important character called Jormungandr. Again, I hope I'm saying that right, even though I heard it about 30,000 times in the game prior. The one referred to as the World Serpent. Yeah, he's that giant effing snake in the middle of the Lake of Nine. You probably didn't see him. No, you probably just missed him. Well, everyone in Midgard notices Jormungandr just appear in the Lake of Nine one day. No explanation, no nothing, and in fact, Freya just mentions it when you first meet her, that Jormungandr just appeared one day in the Lake of Nine. Out of nowhere.
Why is that creature in the bay?
No one knows. He just appeared one day.
Simply one day he wasn't there, and then the next day he was. Now there is a legend that Mimir tells us about, a legend slash prophecy I guess, that says that Jormungandr and Thor were in a massive fight one day during Ragnarok, and that their battle was so massive and so violent it shook the Tree of Life so massively and so violently it cast Jormungandr back in time before his own birth and smack bang into the 2018 game that we start this journey in. Thor apparently did also attack Jormungandr again when he arrived in the past, as 2018 Thor we're talking about here, but that battle ended in a stalemate, we're told by Mimir. And because of that, the World Serpent stayed and grew in size over time to the size that we see him now in God of War 2018. 2018. That massive, massive world serpent. That was a fight between the God of Thunder with an extremely powerful weapon, Mjolnir, and a giant, because Jormungandr is a giant. Now, if that battle was so violent that it could cast someone back in time, imagine how violent of a battle it would be, say, between, an equally powerful god with, say, an equally powerful weapon. I don't know, maybe like Kratos and a Leviathan axe, or Blades of Chaos, perhaps? So this is my theory. We meet Thor fairly early on in the game, and the battle is so violent and so massive that it causes the same vibrations in the world tree, and it casts Kratos back in time. And then we get to have all of the things that I mentioned before, going to see Groa, the Knowledge Keeper, going to see Faye, all of the cool stuff. We can gather information, crucial information that maybe Odin doesn't know about, maybe Thor doesn't know about at all, and maybe possibly even acquire an item or something that will help us defeat the Mad King himself. Maybe. This is just a maybe. It's all just my theory right here. The only part of this that's kind of iffy though is that how would you get back from that time period? That's the only hitch in the plan, but I do have an idea for that as well. Now, there's two ways you might be able to get back. One of them is going to be utilizing the same sort of method that we find out in the second part of my theory here, the second way that you could be time traveling, so I won't mention that one here. But the second option is a Vanir god. A Vanir god by the name of Nord, whose whereabouts are unknown in the 2018 God of War, but we know he is alive and well in the past, around the time of the Long Cruel War. This was a war between the Aesir gods and the Vanir gods. Nord was the leader of the Vanir gods and Freya's father. He was said to be very strong, very loving, and respected and liked by many, and, lucky for us, dabbled in time-altering magics. So you see where I'm going with this. It's my theory that if we get thrown back in time to a point before all of the cruelness with Odin happens, before the Ragnarok prophecy and everything like that, or around about the time it actually happened, if we can somehow get our information and then get to Nord and then tell him what Odin has been doing to Freya, what's happening in the future, he might be on our side and be willing to help us and send us back to the present, where, I mean, if it's just Kratos, then you can go back to Atreus, or if it's both of us, then we can go back so we can finish off the Aesir gods. That's one of my time traveling theories. That's one way I think that we could go back in time to get all of those things accomplished. The second one, and this is my only other theory that I have, theory 2, Tyr takes us back in time using the Bifrost. Okay, hear me out here. I know you guys are probably saying, yo, Eddie, the Bifrost is like a table of like specific locations that you can go to, specific realms you can go to, and even then, it doesn't allow you to travel through time. It just allows you to travel to different realms. Come on, Eddie. But the Bifrost is a manipulation of time and space. That's how it works. In like scientific terms, it's supposed to be like creating wormholes so you can get from point A to point B without having to travel over that time. So who's to say someone who has extensive knowledge with the Bifrost, someone who's used to manipulating it and using it for things other than just those dedicated spots on the table in the travel room, who's to say that person might not be able to use it for other things and theoretically travel through time? I don't know, someone like Tyr maybe. I mean, Tyr did have the ability to create travel stones, to create the Unity Stone so he could travel anywhere he wanted. He also had the ability to hide the Jotunheim travel tower from existence and put it somewhere that nobody could get to. I'm telling you, I think there are more abilities to the Bifrost than what meets the eye. And I think someone like Tyr is going to be the person who knows all about it. And if we can get him on our side, that might be a way that we can go back in time. Just guessing it. This is my theory. This is my thoughts. Anyway, guys, those are my theories of how and why we might be going back in time in God of War Ragnarok. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. As I said, this is a brand new channel. Please, please, please help out. Share this video if you liked it. Like it, comment, subscribe, do all the good stuff. You know what we really appreciate here. Thank you so much for all of your help. I really enjoy making these videos. I hope I can make many more of them. There won't just be God of War in this channel. It'll be all kinds of stuff. But right now, this is my excitement, this is my passion, and I really want to spread that passion on YouTube in front of you guys. That sounds so weird. But hey, guys, thank you. Thank you so much for this opportunity. And yeah, I'll see you guys around in another video. All right, guys? Catch you all in the next one. Bye.